Good afternoon, dear students and faculty. That's really an awesome day on campus. I love this campus actually, especially when it's really quiet, right? It's really enjoyable. That's okay. So, I want to talk to you today about the why Muslims fast Ramadan. Okay, so this video will have a short talk. What is the main purpose? A sketch. We have our expert today. He doesn't speak much English. A visit to a local mosque. And a recitation in Arabic with the translation in English.
والذين إذا ذكروا بآيات ربهم لم يخروا عليها صما وعميانا.
So stay tuned. Okay, so I want to talk to you today about the why Muslims fast Ramadan. So you might have heard that we fast to feel how the poor feels, which is actually incorrect. So then what is the main purpose of the month of Ramadan? So as the Quran teaches, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O those who believe, كتب عليكم الصيام, decreed upon you is fasting, كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم, as it was decreed to those before you, لعلكم تتقون, so you may attain righteousness, so you become pious. And لعلكم تتقون, تتقون in Arabic it means protection, to protect yourself from sinning. It comes from the root taqwa, wiqaya. But then you may ask, like, I don't see the point. How can fasting help me be a better person? How does that help me stop sinning? Well, let's look into what happens during fasting. During fasting, your stomach needs food. Feed me, feed me. Your throat needs water. Even if you are not very religious, there is that physical aspect, so you feel that hunger and you feel that thirst. But your heart is in control. It's like, no, we're not eating until sunset, not until Maghrib time. So you have mastered that, right? You're able to control yourself, stop eating and drinking. Hopefully that will take that self-discipline that we have shown towards food and apply it to other aspects of our lives. For example, so we should also be controlling our eyes. Muslim men, we shouldn't be looking at something haram. We shouldn't be like gazing at women. So, and let's face it, not looking at girls can be a challenge for some of us. So it's not okay for Muslim men to look at women. That's in general. And specifically in Ramadan, right, it's even more prohibited. Fasting should help us kind of practice that. So because fasting is actually so powerful, the Prophet ﷺ prescribed that to men who cannot marry. So in a hadith by the Prophet where he says, يا معشر الشباب, O young men, من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. Whoever can support a wife should get married. فإنه أغض للبصر, so it helps you lower your gaze, وأحسن الفرج, and protects you from immorality. And ومن لم يستطع, and who cannot, فعليه بالصيام, so he should observe fasting. فإنه له وجاء, as for it, it's a protection. So we should be controlling our eyes, like we told our stomach, no, not until Maghrib. So we should tell our eyes, no, not until Allah allows a halal option. So ladies, if you notice any wandering eyes during this holy month, just give them a friendly reminder to stay on track. Another sense that we should be controlling, right? We should be controlling our tongues. So we should observe our speech. So we cannot do gossip or backbiting. So actually the Prophet ﷺ teaches, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر, whoever believes in Allah and the last day, فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت, let him say something good or remain silent. That's in like regular days. And in Ramadan specifically, we're encouraged to practice that. So actually I'm gonna sit down. So actually there is a hadith by the Prophet that says, if it's your day and you're fasting and somebody insults you or somebody tells you something that's or fights you, then you should not respond. You should be saying, Allahumma inni sa'im, I am a fasting person. So you should control your tongue. Similarly, you should also be giving in charity. So we shouldn't be holding on to that money, right? We should give it away. So especially when you know that the Prophet ﷺ, he was the most generous person, and he would be most generous during the month of Ramadan. As the narration says, كان أجود من الريح المرسلة, he would be more generous, like the blowing wind. So when you look at the wind, when it blows, it hits all the buildings, all the people, everything, right? So the Prophet ﷺ, with his charity and good, he would reach to the poor, to the needy. Everyone around him would be touched by his good and charity. So during the month of Ramadan, we are encouraged to open our hearts and our wallet and give away. So by applying that self-control, right, you tell your stomach, no, not until Maghrib. Your eyes, no, I'm not gonna look. Your tongue, no, I'm not gonna insult. I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna give charity. So Ramadan becomes like a practice problem. Do you guys remember in math when the teacher, they would give us a practice problem that we understand and hopefully apply that understanding to related problems, right? So every time you do the fasting, stop eating and drinking, it's like you're doing a practice problem. And if you are able to apply that to your other senses, to control the eyes, the tongue, and all our senses, then we're solving like real problems. So do you remember that time in class when we aced the practice problems, but then couldn't answer the real problems on the exam, right? This is what I'm talking about. And because not everyone will be able to control their senses, that's why the Prophet ﷺ says, رُبَّ صَائِمٍ, there might be people who will be fasting, لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعِ, that will get nothing out of the fasting except hunger. So it's not really about the food. If you're not able to apply that, right? If you're not able to reflect and apply that to other actions, then fasting becomes really useless. Actually, the Prophet ﷺ says, مَنْ لَمْ يَضَعْ قَوْلَ الزُّورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ, who does not stop false testimony, false actions, فَلَيْسَ مِنَ اللَّهِ حَاجَةً فِأَنْ يَضَعْ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ, then Allah, God does not really need you to stop eating and drinking. I mean, there is no point.
So back again to the verse that says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ, all those who believe, decreed upon you is fasting, كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, like it was prescribed upon nations before you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so you may attain piety, right? So you may, لَعَلَّكُمْ, so hopefully, right, that you will take benefit of this month and use it. So using this month as it was prescribed, at the end of the month, you will find yourself be able to control and quit multiple sins. So, for example, we have mastered the eat and drink piece, right? We don't eat or drink. So you never find the Muslim person kind of during their midday, like midday, and think, okay, should I eat? Should I not? No, I should eat. No, I should not, right? We never had that conversation. Fasting is fasting. That's not even a question that you ask, should I eat or not? I know that I'm not going to eat until sunset, Maghrib. Similarly, we will reach the same level with other sins. Should I insult? Should I not? That's not even a question that you will ask yourself. Once you have practiced this enough, you're not gonna even ask, shall I insult back or not? Okay.
And again, it's not really about the food and drink, but this does not mean that we don't like food, right? We really enjoy it. Especially here in Houston, where there's like, you have a big Muslim community from different backgrounds, so we really enjoy the cuisine from different nationalities. Like yesterday, for example, I was at Al-Aqsa Mosque, and they were serving Indian food. Our Indian brothers and sisters, they did really an awesome job. So yeah, we enjoy the food, but we try to focus on the applying that fasting to other aspects of our life.
So actually, my favorite dessert, I think it's an Indian dessert. It's called rasmalai. So I'll leave you with a video for that dessert that I made myself. I don't really know how good it is, but I actually had an expert from taste it and tell me how good that.
we have our expert today. He doesn't speak much English, so we have an interpreter. So can you ask him like, do you know what you will do? Like, do you know? Can you interpret?
আমি হালুয়া খেয়ে দেখবো হালুয়া ভালো না খারাপ যদি ভালো হয় তাহলে বলবো ভালো যদি খারাপ হয় তাহলে বলবো খারাপ okay
Okay, great. So now you can start tasting the halwa and tell us your opinion.
العشرة فين؟ يوم الحصول العشرة
হালুয়া ভালো না
هذا was not good.
Are you sure of that about that interpretation? Okay. What else?
ভালো না
Okay. You don't need it to interpret. I think it's he's probably too happy with the halwa. But anyways, thank you for coming, brother Muhammad Alauddin. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, brother.
nice to meet you
Thank you, interpreter. Assalamu alaikum. So this is called rasmali or halwa. So I think it's a great dessert. So you can try it at home. If just make sure to clean up after you're done in the kitchen, and inshallah, may Allah reward you, inshallah, and inshallah I will see you next time. ايه ده؟ بتاعت ايه؟
انت استغلطها
طيب حاضر.
وايدك ايدك الثانية
شكرا. خدي.
لازم تفتحها.
حاضر. سلكة.
سلكة جميلة
طيب
عشان
خلاص.
تساعدك في تنظيف المواعين.
حاضر. اوكي. شكرا. مع السلامة.
صدق مكسر طعمها حلو. صورني بابا صورني
حاضر. عايزة تصوري؟ تالي.
إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى.
So lastly, I have a piece of recitation in Arabic, and I'll also include the translation. And this is actually a piece of a piece of a chapter of the Quran. Piece of it is actually describing the believers, like how they should be. So this is what we're aspiring to be, hopefully after Ramadan. So it talks about some of the characteristics of the believers. Doesn't mean that all the Muslims are like that, but that's what we're trying to be. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما والذين إذا أنفقوا لم يسرفوا ولم يقتروا وكان بين ذلك قواما والذين لا
خالدين
يدعون مع
فيها
الله
حسنت
إلها
مستقرا
آخر ولا يقتلون النفس
ومقاما
التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون ومن يفعل ذلك يلقى أثاما يضاعف له العذاب يوم القيامة ويخلد فيه مهانا إلا من تاب وآمن وعمل عملا صالحا إلا من تاب وآمن وعمل عملا صالحا فأولئك يبدل الله سيئاتهم حسنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما ومن تاب وعمل صالحا فإنه يتوب إلى الله متابا والذين لا يشهدون الزور وإذا مروا باللغو مروا كراما والذين إذا ذكروا بآيات ربهم لم يخروا عليها صما وعميانا والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما أولئك يجزون الغرفة بما صبروا يلقون فيها تحية وسلاما
خالدين فيها حسنت مستقرا ومقاما.
قل ما يعبأ بكم ربي لولا دعاؤكم فقد كذبتم فسوف يكون لزاما صدق الله العظيم